YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Warhammer, and I've got lots of gratuitous cinematic eye candy for you this time. It's going to be a combined army of the Empire and dwarfs. You see Karl Franz leading the men. There's some gyrocopters, and the mainline infantry is mostly Longbeards and Ironbreakers, so it should be interesting. There's some Thunder supporting out in the woods. The Empire player has a lot of units stationed here. Let's take a look at them. We've got an Outrider with grenade launcher, 2 of those, and then there's going to be several Outriders here. So it looks like 1 Knights of the Blazing Sun, a Zentler's Reichsguard, and then 4 Outriders in total. One of the Outriders immediately gets caught by their opponents, who have these Vargeist, and these are the Regiment of Renown Vargeist too. Extra nasty ones sitting there. I think flying units ought to get a significant debuff in the woods, because it'd be really hard for them to fly in the woods. Here comes a Gaze and Nagash there or something. Or no, it was from the Greenskins. So this is Greenskins and Vampires taking on Dwarfs and Empire. And they're going to use this little nasty mud puddle over here to shore up a flank. Got some Longbeards over here. Templehof Luminarch is opening fire on some Cryptors, as are cannons. There's also a steam tank on this flank and a Celestial Wizard of all things. Let's watch these Free Company Militia start shooting up the goblins. Free Company Militia are a non-armor piercing missile unit that's also decent in melee versus other light infantry. It's mostly a good unit for early campaign. They'll do pretty well against these goblins. I don't think the goblins will do all that well. You can see the Templehof Luminarch smacking out some Cryptors in the background. Gyro Bombers making the rounds. In terms of engagements out here, Karl Franz was trying to help out, but Zentler's Reichsguard is completely overwhelmed. There's a bunch of Savage Orc Biggins, Blood Knights, and Trolls and Vargeist pounding their way through the forest, and it's getting the Empire pretty badly. They even have a Goblin Big Boss. Now the Templehof Luminarch has used its net of Ammontok. You can kind of see the battlefield, try and let you get some good views here. There was a Comet of Cassandora, maybe, or something that completely missed. You can see the Runesmith doing their thing back there. Yeah, here it comes. They lined up a Comet of Cassandora, but it has a very long spin-up time. And by the time that it comes down, which let's watch it because it does look really cool, it completely missed the units that were hit by the net. And they should have had enough time with that net there. It was just not the best coordination. Check out these Knights of the Blazing Sun. These guys look pretty awesome coming through a dark forest. They're coming up. There's the Claw of Nagash up there too. It slows these guys down, but they're going to get some damage done. There's just a lot of nasty Vampire and Orc units. So here comes the Biggins, supported by Blood Knights. That's going to be a devastating combination for the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Let's take a look at some of the fights here. Here's the that Regiment of Renown Vargeist chewing its way through. See a pretty nasty fight over here. Karl Franz supporting. Check out the ironclad dwarf infantry line doing its best to hold the line. There's a lot of Ironbreakers, like I said, and then there's also Longbeards. Some of the dwarf missile units have fallen back to open fire. The steam tank is doing some pretty good wreaking havoc here. Grimgor's after it, but the steam tank's still managing to get quite a few kills. Yeah, I really liked this battle just for the cinematics of it, if nothing else. You can see the Ironbreakers here tossing in their blasting charges, and you've got Outriders sitting back behind the fight, just pouring fire into the large units, which can be useful sometimes. The problem is the Vampires are really pushing on through. That's probably a unit of Raise the Dead. And then check out this Blood Knight, just an awesome unit. Cruising through the back lines here. This is the last unit, almost the last unit in the game you'd ever want your back lines. Look at them, just going to plow through these dwarfs. They're going to chase these Outriders, which are kind of getting caught. And then there's some Wolf Riders supporting them with high speed here too, which that's actually a pretty deadly combination. The high speed of the Wolf Riders slowing stuff down so that the power of the Blood Knights can come to bear. The Blood Knights have some extreme power. Check out that Templehof Luminarch in the background, by the way. This battle was absolutely gorgeous in terms of cinematics. May not have been the most amazing thing tactically speaking, but it was really, really pretty, the cinematics. Yeah, you can see the cannons were firing away here, but this Blood Knight is going to be absolutely ripping through the back lines. Got some blasting charges getting thrown into the Blood Knights now from these Iron Breakers who are coming to support. And then there are Iron Breakers from this side as well. Iron Breakers are some of the coolest looking infantry in the game. Like I said, in campaign they're fantastic. They're not all that great in multiplayer, but they are really a fantastic campaign unit. Let's check out the Crypt Horrors. Crypt Horrors are actually quite a few of them dropping there. Got Karl Franz and then the way too loud Mortis engine pushing around. You can see the steam tank getting a ton of damage done versus the orc infantry. The steam tank is really good against greenskin infantry for the most part. You see it's got 90 kills. It's doing its job rather well, and it's a pretty nasty fight. I'll kind of let you see the overhead here. Check that out. The Tithe zombies were involved there. It looks like they're dying. This Sternsman Graveguard got brought into the fight late, and it's going to be in really good shape. Check out the Runesmith over here, using the runes to keep himself alive. He is in a terrible fight here against all these units, Crypt Horrors and Blood Knights. Definitely not what you want to be around. The Mortis engine now facing up against Karl Franz. There's Blood Knights, there's Crypt Horrors. Karl Franz is in a very bad spot here. Steam tank though, just cutting its way through everything here. And it's facing down Grimgore. So, brutal effect of the steam tank. Looks like Karl Franz is going to rout. He is alive though. And these Iron Breakers are going to get in the way of these Blood Knights, and that's going to save the life of Karl Franz right there. He's going to actually be able to come back. See greenskins over here. There's a Orc Shaman. The fight is looking good for the Vampire Greenskin Alliance. Look at this though, the Templehof Luminart supplying yet another net here. Not a whole lot left though to follow up. Looks like the Iron Breakers, are they pulling away? Yeah, the Iron Breakers are trying to pull away from the cavalry and get into this infantry fight over here. The Claw of Nagash very much alive. There comes a lightning bolt from the Celestial Wizard. But I don't know, this Vampire Center and supported by these Savage Biggins and stuff, it's going to be a nasty, potent combination. The Trolls in concert with the Savage Orc Biggins is also a pretty cool combination. Relatively low leadership on all of them. Now look at this, the Claw of Nagash here just supporting all the units nearby. That's going to be a bad time. The Vampire Lord is dead and has been for a while. It was Vlad von Karstein. But yeah, it didn't really swing the battle out of favor. Steam tank's doing good. Check it out. Orc Shaman here getting rammed by a Luminarch. Not going to do a lot to him. And then check out this tag team duo. Here comes Franz and the Celestial Wizard tag teaming the Orc Shaman, who's also now going to get run over by a steam tank. The unfriendly roads of the Empire, folks. There will be rage-induced accidents. How about that, man? Steam tank. 106 kills. It's got 2 experience chevrons. It is unbreakable, so it's going to fight on. So it looks like Karl Franz goes down, and that's going to cause everything to rout except for the steam tank because it's unbreakable. So the steam tank is the only remaining unit for the Alliance of Men and Dwarfs. It looks like the forces of the Vampires and the Greenskins are going to take this one home, but not before a pretty outstanding performance from the steam tank. 100 and some odd kills is certainly not bad. Really like the steam tank. It's a cool weapon. It doesn't get used a ton in like 1 versus 1 multiplayer, though it can. Like, it's devastating versus the Dwarfs. It is really good. And there's some other factions that it can. I like using them against greenskins also, but I do feel like the greenskins have a few more options against it than the Vampires. So yeah, I know I was zoomed up close, but this, like I said, this battle was more for eye candy than it was like a real tactical discussion or something, and I really appreciate it being sent in. It was pretty interesting. What is that? A big dead? Yeah, that's Deathclaw. Look at all the stuff it takes to take down this steam tank. That Claw of Nagash is just a really sweet looking unit there too. There we go. The steam tank is finally defeated. So a valiant defeat for the Dwarfs and the Empire, but a really fun battle to watch because of all the Dwarf infantry, and there was cannons, and Those Blood Knights, though, look at the kills on these guys. Just absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Let's take a look at the Empire player here. Yeah, all these Outriders just ended up not being worth it. And that's typically the case with Outriders. Bringing more than one of these, even bringing one can be questionable, but bringing more than one. But you can see the Empire army was meant all for support. So the problem is that they brought this many Outriders, but they didn't provide them enough cavalry to keep them safe. So the Vampires and the Greenskins were easily able to overcome the Knights of the Blazing Sun and Zentler's Reichsguard, which really aren't good anti-cavalry type cavalry, especially when you could be up against Blood Knights. You're going to need some serious anti-cavalry, but I do like the idea. Empire is there with all their key support units. Dwarfs come in with the really high morale, high armor, shielded infantry, and it's going to give them like a really strong backbone to work with, basically. Nice kills on that gyrocopter, by the way, and pretty decent on the Dwarf Lord as well with 83 kills. Thane not doing too bad. But yeah, let's take a look. So the Vampire here cleaned house with the Blood Knights, absolutely. And then the Greenskin player, decent performance from Grimgor, really nice performance from these Wolf Riders. 154 kills on those guys is really spectacular. There's a couple of gold chevron black orcs here. They were still very much alive, so they were doing pretty well. And then a lot of gold chevrons too over here on the savage orc biggins. But yeah, none of his guys got a ton of kills, but they were doing some work. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. I'll be back with more in the future. HeirofCarthage signing out.